getting back to some of our other cases that aren't related to Russiagate, because there's a lot of important things going on that Judicial Watch is doing. We've got this massive lawsuit, and Judicial Watch is virtually the only game in town doing this work. The lawsuit is against Los Angeles and California over their dirty election rolls. Now, Judicial Watch had been the only private entity, or at least in the beginning, the only private entity that had sued under federal law that requires states to take reasonable steps to clean up the election rolls. Meaning if you die or move away, every few years the states are supposed to figure out a way to make sure that people who have died or moved away who are otherwise ineligible to vote aren't on their registration rolls, because dirty election rolls can mean dirty elections. Now, Judicial Watch has done a series of analyses. We filed lawsuits against Ohio and Indiana where they had dirty election rolls. Those lawsuits resulted in both states taking steps to clean up the rolls. In fact, the settlement in the Ohio case was up before the Supreme Court because the left objected to the Ohio taking one minor step to clean up the rolls, and the Supreme Court validated it. And Judicial Watch has pursued these cases most recently in Kentucky, where we had a consent decree be issued by a federal court that Kentucky agreed to take steps to clean up their election rolls. So we had a major victory in Kentucky there. But we have a major case that continues against Los Angeles and California. And you know, how do you know if someone's dirty election rolls are dirty? Well, if they have more people on the rolls than are eligible to vote, it's a pretty good indication they're not taking reasonable steps to clean up their election rolls. And again, it's Judicial Watch that's doing the work. Thankfully, in Kentucky, the Justice Department came in and intervened. That was the first time, because the Obama administration, they were AWOL on that, because the left, the professional left, likes the ability to be able to steal elections, and the Obama Justice Department was an arm of the professional left. In fact, the Justice Department still is an arm of the professional left, but for a few political appointees put in there by Trump, they try to guide it in different directions now and again, like in the Kentucky case. If left to their own devices, the bureaucrats in the Justice Department, the lawyers there, the career lawyers, would never enforce the rule of law on clean elections. So credit to Jeff Sessions and the Justice Department for stepping up here. But Judicial Watch is in a battle in Los Angeles and California, because California has 11 of 58 California counties have a registration rates exceeding 100% of the age-eligible citizenry. Los Angeles County has more voter registrations on its voter rolls than it has citizens who are old enough to register. Specifically, they have 112% of its adult citizen population on its registration rolls. So what's going on in California is they never remove you from your rolls, the rolls. You can die, move away, you never vote, they don't remove you. They just call you, they just call you, I forget the phrase they use. Inactive, excuse me. You would think I'd know that word easily. But they call you inactive voters. But being inactive keeps you on the registration rolls in the sense that you can show up and vote. You can imagine how that's a recipe for fraud, because anyone who knows anyone who's inactive, they can vote in their name. That's the danger. Dirty voting rolls can mean dirty elections. So Judicial Watch is suing California and the state of and the county of Los Angeles to take reasonable steps to clean up the rolls. We're being vociferously opposed, certainly by the state of California. We're battling Los Angeles still. And I wanted to bring you up to date on that because we have elections coming up. And everyone assumes that elections are free and fair here in the United States. No, not necessarily. California's election rolls are a mess. And Judicial Watch recognizes that election rolls are a mess in Republican-dominated states and in Democratic-dominated states, and in the states in between. Our lawyers are going to be working hard over the next 2 weeks, so I ask that you send your prayers their way and support otherwise Judicial Watch's efforts here with your financial support, of course. We have 5 depositions next week in California, so we'll be deposing our lawyers. Our Judicial Watch attorneys will be deposing top state election officials of California next week. And then soon after that, we have another group of depositions of LA County officials. So 10 depositions are set over the next few weeks. So we're going to be doing a lot of work on your behalf to clean up election rolls in one of the most significant states in the country, California.